Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. Boom. Sorry, don't want to do that for a minute now. But my man Adam Cole, kind of got a feeling people pissed off, But he's gonna win the NXT title tonight, so no big deal. So anyway, Jeff and I review 2 matches from each pay-per-view, starting at the beginning of 1997. We are now at Survivor Series 97, our second match, the main event, the infamous Montreal Screwjob. Probably the most famous match in wrestling history because everything that happened at the end of this match was real. It wasn't scripted. Somebody actually got screwed, and it was big in the wrestling industry, and still big today. And it is 24 years later. People still don't forget it. There's still grudges about it. There's still beef about it. Some people have buried the hatches, but there's still some saltiness there. It probably will never go away. It just proves that anything can be controlled anywhere, and you're never safe no matter who you are or what you are, because Bret Hart was the main man, the biggest star in the industry, and it didn't matter tonight. It did not matter tonight. So we start out with HBK coming out first. HBK has a little bit of heel antics, rubbing the Canadian flag through the crotches. They're obviously in Montreal, hence the Montreal Screwjob. And starts humping the flag, telling the flag to suck it, all that type of shit. And then Bret Hart comes out, and then HBK jumps Bret before the bell starts. Bret starts fighting back. You get a headbutt by Bret Hart, and then a clothesline over the top. HBK into the post, and then you see Michaels go into the steel steps. And then they fight through the crowd. They're in the crowd for a couple minutes. Things are happening there. It doesn't look like the crowd let them do anything. Like, usually security, spreads the crowd out. They're, surrounding these fools right now. You can barely see them. They can't move. The crowd's all over the place. And they're not being kind to Shawn Michaels. Let's just put it where it is. This Bret Hart, obviously, is Canadian. Is the biggest thing to come out of Canada. At the time, you'll see a little goat come soon in about 2 years, but that we all know by the name of Chris Jericho, who might have something to say about that. But then they go back, and then Hart goes to the announcer's table, then Hart into the steps, and then he's thrown back into the crowd, and then you see Hart back body drop Michaels on the outside, and then Shawn Michaels just literally low blows Bret Hart. But to be fair, usually this is where I complain about the officiating in 97, but the match technically hasn't started yet, so I'm going to let this slide and not bitch about it because the bell hasn't rang yet. So usually all things go. That's usually kind of how it goes. So where was I at? Oh, the low blow, and now they fight up the ramp, and then back body drop to Michaels on the floor, followed by a suplex, and then Shawn Michaels throws Bret Hart into a referee. This shit's all chaotic right now. It might not seem like a lot based on what I'm telling you, but that's because literally it's just a bunch of punches being thrown, and it's really hard to I'm not gonna sit here and tell you every time somebody throws a punch and lands it. You know what I mean? But they're running around the crowd, up the ramp, all around the ring, just punching each other and beating the hell out of each other right now. If Bret Hart knew what was coming up, he'd probably throw a couple real right hands on Shawn Michaels, you know what I mean? But Bret Hart grabs a fire extinguisher and hits Shawn Michaels in the back. You see Vince McMahon yelling at them to get their ass back in the ring. That type of shit. So they finally get in the ring and the match starts. Bret Hart starts choking Shawn Michaels with the Quebec flag. That's the blue one. And then a leg drop to the back of the head of Shawn Michaels. And then an atomic drop. Shawn starts to gain momentum, hits a flying forearm. And then kicks him square in the head. Usually at the flying forearm, he kip ups and then fucking starts the band, or he'll go for the elbow drop off the top and then just tunes up the band for the sweet chin music. But no, he just kicks Bret straight in the head. And Michael starts choking Bret Hart with the Quebec flag now. Then slams Bret Hart's head into the turnbuckle and starts working on him there. Then Hart's tossed outside the ring, and then you see Shawn Michaels knock the steps over, and then front suplexes Bret Hart right on top of the steps and then kind of stomps on him. Then you see Shawn Michaels break the Canadian flag and then axe handle drop him from the top with the pole, the flag. Then in the ring, Shawn gets like a front face lock, headlock. This is kind of where the match slows down a little bit, as they kind of just sit there and contemplate everything that's happened and what's going to happen in the future. Bret picks him up while he's still got the front headlock in and kind of like launches him forward. And then starts working on his knee. And to get out of that, Shawn rakes the eyes of Bret Hart, right? Whatever heel would do. Funny thing is, both these guys are heels, but Bret's in the role of the face for this because he's in Canada. So Shawn rakes Bret's eyes, and then he body slams Bret Hart. And then he goes to the top, and he gets a cross body, but Bret like rolls through, and he gets the near fall, the 2 count there. And Shawn barely kicks out of that. And then Bret starts stomping at the knee of Michaels again, obviously working the knee for the sharpshooter. Then he pulls him, and he throws the knee across the ring post, and then does Jeff's favorite, the figure 4 around the ring post for the cool spot they always do. It just looks so painful every time. I just like, oh my god. I really don't think the pole would actually play. I've had the figure 4 put on me, and I can't see the pole making it any worse, but it makes it look worse. So I'm just going to go ahead and run with it every time because it just does it looks worse. Then back in the ring, Bret locks the figure 4 back in there. Shawn's in it for a little while. He eventually reverses the pressure, and Bret has to let go. Bret throws Michaels into the corner, and he does this little flippy-do thing that he always does there. And then Bret hits the Russian leg sweep. He gets a 2 count on that. Then he hits another suplex and gets a 2 count on that. And then hits a backbreaker. Then you see Bret go up for an axe handle off the top rope. Michaels pulls the referee in. Bret axe handles both Earl Hebner and Shawn Michaels. Then you see Bret rake the eyes. Or Shawn Michaels rakes the eyes of Bret, knocks him down. And then Shawn locks in the sharpshooter. And Earl Hebner rings the bell immediately, thus screwing Bret Hart. Montreal Screwjob. Michaels is the champion. Time for a rant. Okay, so backstory here. Bret didn't want to lose the title in Canada. First of all, Bret doesn't like Shawn Michaels in real life. Okay, they didn't get along before this. They didn't get along after this, obviously. Okay, so he didn't want to drop the title to Shawn. That was big thing number 1. Okay, he didn't want to do that. Second of all, he didn't want to drop the title in Canada. Okay, I think he offered Vince to drop the title on Raw the next night or some other time, so real close, before he left to WCW. Vince agreed, and they were supposed to have. So when Shawn locks in this figure 4, Bret's supposed to reverse. If you watch it, when the ref calls for the bell, Bret is literally grabbing Michael's legs to reverse the sharpshooter. And then Bret's supposed to put the sharpshooter in, and then the Hart Foundation and DX were supposed to run out of the ring, and it was supposed to be a double DQ, thus being a no contest, and that the title's not supposed to change hands then, and then they were going to work something out to drop the title the next night. But Vince was afraid that Bret was going to take the title and run to WCW, so instead of being a man and talking to Bret about his concerns, Vince decides to screw him over. And here's the shitty part, is that Jim Ross was involved in this. He knew about it. Earl Hebner knew about it. Shawn Michaels knew about it. Triple H knew about it. Chyna knew about it. And obviously Vince and Slaughter knew about it on the outside. Okay, so this was a huge inside thing in that they all denied it for the longest time except Vince. But pretty much all of them have come forth now and let them know, because I know Shawn Michaels makes it act like he didn't know, doesn't want the championship. You can see backstage footage of Michaels throwing the belt to Vince, but it's almost as if he felt bad about it afterwards, after it actually happened, and he just kind of tossed the belt to Vince. Was like, I don't want it this way, right? But Bret asked Shawn Michaels backstage after this if he knew anything about it, and Shawn says, no, I didn't know anything about it. That was a lie. He did. And Bret actually punches Vince McMahon in the face backstage, a real-life punch, blacks Vince's eyes. Obviously, you see him stand up at the ring here and spit in Vince's face. I mean, all that shit's real. Bret destroys all the equipment outside the ring. All this stuff is real. I feel for Bret, but at the same time, Bret also shouldn't have been a baby. He should have just dropped the title to Shawn. So I feel like this is people always fight about which side it is, but I feel like this is a both side situation. Here, where both of them were kind of in the wrong. Bret should have just dropped the title. He knew he was leaving. Canada's going to forgive you. You're still going to be the biggest star there. You lose matches. You're losing to the second biggest star in the company, Shawn Michaels. It's not like it's that big of a deal. Vince also, if he did agree to, which he did because there's evidence, then he should have went through with the double DQ then and just took Bret at his word that he was going to show up tomorrow night. You don't lie to people like that. So it's like a double sided sword here. So it's just a whole shitty situation. As far as the match, it's hard to grade because of everything that happened at the end and how it wasn't supposed to end that way. So for the only time during this whole thing, I'm going to give it an NA grade, not available, because I don't know how the match is supposed to end. It almost makes my skin boil, just reviewing this match. I'm almost positive Jeff's not going to give it an NA. He's going to actually rate it. But as being a person who studied this particular incident for a long time, it's very unfair. I don't feel it's fair to give this match a grade because it wasn't what it should have been. And it was just never planned to be. It was just a screw job all around. I don't want to rate a screw job as a wrestling match. So this will probably be the only match I ever do this to, but I'm going to go ahead and give it an NA grade. I do recommend watching it. The match is pretty good up until that point. It's also the biggest piece of wrestling history ever. So I would definitely watch it. Survivor Series 97 main event. Everybody tune in. We'll see what Jeff has to say, but that's my whole thoughts on the situation. So we'll see you guys for In Your House D-Generation X 1997, the final pay-per-view 1997. That's what we'll be doing next. Catch you guys later.